Well, we're getting close to the end of the build series, and we have 2 more episodes left of the Zuul Runner. So I think we could probably wrap this up and then start hitting the dirt. In the last episode, we painted the Zuul Runner body. That was a cool episode. It was a lot of fun. I like painting this body. I like the way it came out. But today, we are going to be installing some LEDs. I got these LEDs from Dan over at My Trick RC. He's an interesting guy, fun to talk to, really friendly. So I took my camera down there with me, kind of interviewed him a little bit, talked to him about his product or the services that he has to offer. And I'm going to share that with you. So let's go ahead and check that out, and then we'll come right back and install these LEDs. I hear him. Dan? Hey, Dan. Oh, yeah. Good. Thank you, Dan, for letting me come down here to check out your LEDs. I really appreciate it. Why don't you go ahead and tell me a little bit about what My Trick RC does and what you guys have to offer?
Sure. Yeah. So My Trick RC, we do scale RC lighting. We do all sorts of lighting. We do everything from off-road vehicles. That's probably the most common, popular products that we sell. But we do a lot of on-road, surface cars. We do boats and airplanes. And a lot of things in between. We do a lot of, well, we can do a lot of things. We have our lights are designed in a very modular and flexible way. So we do the Scale City, and all the Scale City, some people may know or may not know, is all powered off of our standard LEDs, pretty much standard things that we sell. We might extend lengths and but all the lights that you see in the Scale City and the buildings and the street lights and all that stuff, those are all based off of actual things that we make and sell.
So we were talking on the phone a little bit about this build and the LEDs I needed. Why don't you go ahead and go over some of the LEDs that you picked out for me for this build?
Sure. Yeah, so with the light bar, you were mentioning that it has quite a few, I think it was 7 LEDs in total, and you wanted them to all be yellow. So we have all of those. Those are all very standard products. Sorry, I dropped one. These are our standard 5mm type LEDs. There's 2 types that we make. This is a single LED, so it has 1 connector and 1 LED. And these other ones have 2 LEDs on 1 connector. So basically we have 3 pairs of these and 1 single for a total of 7 LEDs. And one of the cool things with the way our controllers are designed, or our systems are designed, all of these LEDs you can splice together. So based on the conversation that we had, you're planning to take these, you can cut them, and it'll allow you to really reduce the amount of wire in your overall build. You can essentially cut all these away, splice this into it, and have just 1 connector going into our controller, and you'll be good to go.
Now, if somebody didn't want to have to solder anything together, what can they do? You have an option for them to use?
We do. So another option, we do have LED splitters. We have 2-way, 3-way, 4-way LED splitters. So we could take all of these and combine them all together. The only downside to that is it adds a lot more cable to your bundle and overall length. So that is definitely an option. If you don't want to do any cutting, that is easily done. Just a 4-way splitter, and you can bundle up and zip tie in a bundle all the excess LED or wire that you may have.
All right. And then what other LEDs do we have going on that we're getting?
So based on our conversation, you said you needed 2 3mm for the front marker lights. So we got that. Also, you said you wanted halos, and we offer a variety of halos. These are red ones, and we offer white, blue, red, green, and yellow in the halos. These will be really bright. These are actually powered off of our high power port. Our high power, or actually high voltage, 5-volt LEDs have black connectors, and all of our low voltage LEDs, which are 3mm, 5mm, they have white connectors. And this corresponds on our controllers. If there's a white connector, you know it's safe to plug into that port. We do have high power headlights that you had requested, so that'll be perfect. Again, when I say high power, high voltage, has a black connector. That'll plug into the black connector on the controller. And these will be really, really bright white LEDs. These are what we call our attack headlight LEDs.
All right, so now we have all these LEDs. How am I supposed to power these and control them in this build?
Okay, so we have quite a few options for that. We have a whole line of different ways that you can power LEDs. Some are just simple power modules, and others are more complicated with functions like remote on-off control, brake lights, reverse lights, and things like that. So for this build, what I was going to recommend to you, one of several options. This is one of our newest controllers, and it's very, very basic. This doesn't do any functions like remote on-off control or brake lights, but it's one of the simplest applications that we have, and we've always had a lot of requests for a simple device like this controller power module. The next very popular step up, a very popular controller for us, is the HB2 controller. Do it this way. This little guy has a manual on-off control. It has 3 high power ports and 3 low power ports. It's very basic. It doesn't do any on-off control or any brake lights or any of that kind of stuff. But if you want those features, that would be our Dragon controller. And this is pretty much our premier top of the line off-road controller. We've been selling this about 10 years. So there's it has a lot of great history out there. People really love this controller, and it has all the bells and whistles. So with this little button, you can adjust the brightness. There's 4 high power ports, and these 2 ports right here, they have 3 levels of brightness. So the advantage of that is, one, you can run it on a lower setting to save battery, or if you're going to shoot photos, you've got this cool scale build and you want to shoot pictures of it, you can dim down the light so it's not blowing out your camera. So it's a really great feature. The last 2 ports are staged. They only come on at the brightest level. So if you're out there and you have your rig set up, and most of the time when you're running it, you don't need all of your lights on. You can, kind of like a real rig, you can run your headlights, your rock lights, and then when you're ready to go off, you can add your light bar into it. Gives it a little bit more function to the controller. So yeah, this is our premium deluxe controller, and any one of these would work great for this build.
It sounds to me like that controller will probably be a little bit overkill for this build. But I think probably the basic one would be the one that we'd go for in this build, right?
Sure.
It's lightweight, simple to use,
compact,
plug and play.
Yeah,
super simple.
Yeah, that's a great choice.
All right, cool. All right, Dan. So thank you for helping me set up these lights for my build. I really appreciate it. Now, if anybody has any questions, how can they get a hold of you, and how can they browse your products?
Yeah, you can find us on Instagram or Facebook, or you can go directly to our website. Just go to the contact us through there, and there's pretty much always somebody there looking, and we'll help you in any way that we can. We have a lot of stuff to check out, so we look forward to seeing you.
All right. Well, thank you. I appreciate you for letting me come down here and check this out.
Yeah.
I'm going to take these LEDs and go ahead and install them on my build.
Awesome.
So thank you.
Yeah.
All right, so the hardest part of installing these LEDs is going to be installing these halo lights into these light buckets. But it's going to be relatively easy. It's just not going to be installing the LED, putting a retaining clip, and then putting the screw in, and that's it. It is going to require a little bit of modifications to the light bucket share, but it's going to be a simple modification. What I need to do is cut a groove here in the top of the light bucket. That way when I install the LED ring here, I could run those wires out that little groove out the back. And that groove is going to need to be deep enough because it's going to recess into the grill here. It'll get installed like this. And then you can see how it's retained or it's recessed into that grill right there. So that way when these halo lights are installed in the light bucket, they'll be able to come out the back. And then when I install the LED here in the headlight and put the clip on, I'll be able to secure this wire and the wire coming out of the headlight together, and then secure those to the top inside of the hood here on the body. So that's going to be a plan. So let's get to work. That'll work out perfect. Easy peasy. All right, well, I got the light buckets trimmed and the halo lights are ready to be installed. But before I could do that, I need to chrome the insides of the headlight buckets so that the light that's coming out from the LED will reflect a lot better. So to do that, I'm going to use these chrome pens. And I'm going to take these and just draw in on the inside or color in on the inside. And while that's drying, I am going to install the grill. All right, the front grille and headlights are all mounted up. Headlights or the LEDs are installed. I did add a little bit of hot glue to help hold the LEDs in place and to secure the wires so that they don't get disconnected, as things are moving around. You don't want these wires to get loose and start moving around too much, because otherwise it can break the connection from the LED to the controller. So I add a little bit of the hot glue to help secure that and make sure that nothing moves. Okay, on to the rest of the lights. I've been sitting here off camera trying to figure out how I'm going to mount these light buckets on the fenders, and figured out I'm just going to have to make an elongated hole to mount it here on the fender. So this is what I came up with. This is the hole that I'm going to have to make. I did it on one side. I still have to do it on the other side. I haven't done it there, but I did it on this side. It's big enough to allow the stem of the light bucket on here to fit through that hole, and also to have the wire go through that hole. So it's big enough to have the LED go through, push it to the back, put the stem of the light bucket in. That'll go in there as well. And then everything will be nice and clean. You won't be able to see the wires very well once everything is plugged in. I'm not going to stick this in here right now just because not until I'm ready to mount it, because it's a pressure fit. It clicks in and it's hard to take it out once you get it in. So that's what I'm going to do. Did it to one side. Now I got to do it to the other side. This is going to be fun. Once I have these two lights mounted up, then the hard part of mounting these LEDs is done, and we can move on to the rest. All right, so here's the plan for the light bars. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to take my chrome markers, fill in the light buckets for the reflective finish. Then I am going to take some of this film here that I got from Dragon Laminates. This is headlight film for full-size cars. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out a little square, apply it to my lens, and get something like this. This is a test to see how it would work. It works out perfect. So these lenses are actually from the Team Associated XP LED roof light kit. These are actually the perfect size for these Zuul Runner light buckets. They fit in there just perfect. So I'm going to use these. I don't like the way that these mount, so that's why I'm not using these, and I'm using the Zuul Runner ones. Then I am going to use the Zuul Runner lens grill. These are the ones that come with the Zuul Runner. You either have a choice between these or the solid ones. And I'm using these because what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my side cutters and I'm going to snip out all of the grills out of all of the lights. So it'll just leave the outer ring, and then that outer ring will snap onto the light buckets and retain the lens inside. And it'll be nice and clean, easy peasy. So that's the plan. I am going to go ahead and get to work. So now that the light bar is fully assembled, it's time to wire it up and install all 7 LEDs. I really haven't been looking forward to this part of the project just because of wiring. It's not my strong point, and there are a lot of LEDs, especially in this light bar alone. But as long as I take my time, it shouldn't be a problem. So anyways, the plan is to install all 7 of these LEDs on this light bar and wire them up into one plug. As long as they're wired into one plug and wired in series, the light controller is only going to see it as a single LED and shouldn't have a problem powering it up. So we're going to be using this controller from MyTrickRC. So there's quite a bit to do here. Wiring them up into one single plug is going to allow me to only have to have one hole here in the middle of the body. It'll be a smaller hole rather than having a bunch of holes for all the wires. Having one large hole to feed all the wires through. Having this smaller hole in the middle to feed one plug, one wire set through, and then down the inside along the A-pillar, and then meet up with the rest of the wires. And that should be it. It should be pretty easy, pretty straightforward. It's starting to look a little bit like a bowl of spaghetti here in the inside of the body, but we'll try to manage all these wires with some zip ties and some aluminum tape. So that's going to be it. Time to get to work. Oh boy, another one down. I think we have one more episode left, and then we can wrap this up. In the next video, we will do final assembly on the Zuul runner. We'll see, we have some stickers that need to be applied. We have a couple things that need to get painted and installed. Some wiring to be cleaned up. And then we can hit the dirt and have some fun. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be fun. I think you guys are going to enjoy it. So make sure you tune in next time. Make sure you like, subscribe, turn on the notification bell on, and that way you'll be notified when the next episode comes out. And we'll see you in the next one.